Good morning, interwebs. Today you get another long story longer. I'm still working my way through that list of questions that I had for my 150 subscriber giveaway. We are 63 people later and I'm still answering them, but this is kind of how I'm going to fill in, like if we go camping or whatever, or if I'm out of town, I'll answer one of these questions. So where I'm at on the list is a question from Debbie. She wanted to know, tell us a story of the little purple hair girl. Well, I did not have purple hair as a little girl, obviously, because I was not even allowed to cut my hair for a very, very long time. I mean, like, my mom trimmed it and stuff, but it had to stay, like, of length, because I don't know why. It just, that was my parents' rule. Till my sisters convinced them that that was, not a rule worth fighting over, and that they should let me cut it. So then they did, and I liked it. I had it cut numerous different ways. So I was thinking about like stories about my hair, and the first one that came to mind was when I was in 5th grade. For Halloween, I wore this dress that had been my mom's, and it had been like silver, and it had like these drapey like wing kind of things. It was very 70s, like I looked like a disco ball. And I was a 5th grader wearing a woman's dress, so it like went all the way to my ankles. I guess it was fairly like chic when she wore it, but it was a Halloween costume when I wore it. And I went as a ghoul, and I decided that ghouls had like white faces, so I baby powdered my face, and I took gray eyeshadow and made like big dark circles around my eyes, and then I wanted my hair to look all like it had cobwebs and junk in it, so I baby powdered my hair. And since I had dark brown hair, that's a lot of baby powdering required. Have I mentioned that I do not like the smell of baby powder at all? Like, at all. Anything baby powder fragranced is just disgusting to me. And yes, I did this thing, and it was really, really difficult to wash the baby powder out of my hair. But that was that. And the other hair story that it made me think of was when I was in 7th grade, I really wanted to perm my hair. And so my brother-in-law actually took me, he had a friend from when he was in high school, I think. Anyways, she was a hairstylist, so when we were visiting them, he took me in to go get my hair permed. And perms had not come back into style, and depending where you live, they still may not be in style, but it was like something that people had not done since the 80s, and it was very like out of style. But his friend knew how to do it, and she was willing to, so she permed my hair, and everybody in the salon was just super interested because nobody had their hair permed really, and like here, my grandma and her friends were always getting their hair permed. I mean, they had like the short old lady perm thing. But there, in California where we were, they didn't do that. So everybody in the salon, all the stylists, like had no experience because a bunch of them were young and like after the perm phase. So I was quite the spectacle. And then after they had done all my hair, because my hair was fairly long, it was like shoulder length-ish, they realized that they didn't have a big enough like wrap for my head, and when you perm your hair, you put like the solution in and it smells, number one. Number two, you need to keep it kind of warm, so they have to like wrap it in plasticky stuff. So they went and found a garbage bag and wrapped my head in it, and as you can imagine, 7th grade Kendra did not like being the center of that type of attention, and like smelling up the whole place. It was, yeah. But in the end, it turned out wonderful, and I liked it, and I had it permed, I think just then for a while. I went through several batches of perming, and then when I started college, I had it permed. And actually, there was a number of people I knew in college that didn't realize that my hair was not naturally curly because I had it permed like consistently through most of college, and actually through like when we got married. Then I kind of stopped because I would always go like a really long time between perms, but that was just because I was lazy and cheap. And I don't mind the way it looked when like my hair would start to grow out. So I did that for a long time, and then kind of went back and forth. And now, well, it's not permed and it's purple. And I probably like this better than any of the other hairstyles, though I do have to say, I looked at some pictures the other day, and I had quite the mane of, like, permed, giant, like, I liked it. it was kind of funny when I would go, several times I went and had my hair done for like fancy dances, and the people would be trying to do it all like sleek. I'd be like, no, I want big hair, like a bigger and curlier, the happier I was. And they would never believe me, and they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, it did. I'm like, oh, bigger. I mean, and my hair still never ended up that big, which is why I think I liked the idea of it being big, because that was just not something my hair naturally did. So, those are my stories about my hair and being little. And I will answer some more questions another time. So, I'll talk to you then. Bye!